guys. Episode 26, Snagged Podcast and giveaways. Still going. Here we are. Boys, how are you all going?
Oh, can't complain. Just up north again in the wind for work again. So, can't complain too much.
Living the dream one day at a time.
Sounds like you are complaining about the wind.
Oh, of course I am. Yeah.
Tonight I've got a couple of young Patrick, you would have seen it a few times before on here, and young Jack. A couple of little tackle rats that have been out there doing a bit of fishing recently. Going to have a bit of a yak about fishing in the Derwent for bream, which I no doubt many of you have done before, but the boys have had some awesome trips recently. So one in particular we're going to talk about where they absolutely jonged them. So we'll have a bit of a yak about that. So Hooch, what's been happening?
Well, up my way, it's all about the Kings. So I know that's been a bit slow in the Derwent for the Kings, but I do see that they've thickened up a little bit in the Derwent, so that's good. Some more on that Tassie Kingfish page. I can see some input for some Derwent people. But it was interesting that a few chaps headed out from Ulverston and managed to pick up some nice Kings and also out of Devonport. So anywhere around those rocky points and those reefy areas where the water pushes, trolling some a little bit deeper diving lures that'll handle a little bit of pace has been working well. But one particular story that I like to repeat is the bluefin access now is phenomenal. Like, it's traditionally been East Coast, Southeast, around Eagle Hawk Neck, and if you really want to brave the elements, get down past Whale Head and Pedra for the tuna. But nowadays, the tuna are in close, inside Shooting Passage, just outside Shooting Passage, in and around Shooting Island, in Bass Strait. And what's been really cool is people have been able to get their kids out there, their mums and even their mother-in-laws out there onto their first ever tuna experience. So that's pretty cool. I had a bit of a crack a year or so ago getting my mum onto a tuna, and now that they're back, I'm going to have another go because dear old mum, all she caught was a reasonable sized cooter and barracuda, and she wasn't happy. So that's pretty cool. And interestingly enough, on the bluefin, this was a bit unexpected, but a friend of mine from Sydney had come down for the Wooden Boat Festival, which apparently was a phenomenal event, which I must get to next year. And they're in this very nice wooden boat built out of Sorrento in Victoria called the 50-foot Deal Island. If you get a chance to Google 50-foot Deal Island wooden boat, it's a beautiful thing. I wouldn't put tuna blood on it, to be fair, but they've come out of the Wooden Boat Festival and they're going around to Port Davey. I think they're already done that, and they caught some tuna along the way, and they had an absolute ball. Of course, they picked up the obligatory crayfish, and there a few mainlanders, and fluked the weather. You're complaining about that wind, Dylan, which is easterly. There's none of that on the west coast. It's as flat as a poo carter's hat. Are you allowed to say poo? Yeah, I think you can. And, so they've had a great thing. So the bluefin are on big time, and they seem like they're going to stick around. So if you want to get your family out there and have some fun, I suppose if you would get people coming in the store asking all the time what you should use, you don't necessarily need to go and get the big gold reels. I would recommend, if you were going to have a play, you want at least a 6,500, probably a 7,500 reel, something that's going to hold a bit of 40-pound braid, and a stripey rod. If you can't take down a school-sized fish and tackle a reasonable-sized tuna on your stripey outfit, well, you're not having a go. I think that's all you need to do. So if you're looking to buy some gear, I'd suggest a fairly stout little rod and get in store, and Thomas can help you out.
Absolutely, 100%. I think a lot of guys want the big 50 wides and stuff like that, and Shimano make TLD 50 is absolutely one of the most fantastic game reels you'll ever get, and pretty reasonably priced. I think $600 for a combo, so it's nothing to do with that. But getting back to that spin gear, sometimes even for beginners, it's actually easier for them to use spin gear because it's lighter, they can bowl fish over faster, use a bit of braid, but not only that, you can use it for stripey fishing. You can kind of do everything you want with it, so absolutely highly recommend sort of not having to worry about big overheads and getting the bigger spin gear and get something a little bit more versatile for sure.
And learn to reel with your left hand. Use your strong hand on the rod. Lean back.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's it. It makes sense.
Don't shake your head, Snapper. I can see you shaking your head there.
No.
I can hear him shaking his head.
The other thing too, I saw it's probably coming up in the reports. One of those few kingfish coming from down under the Tasman Bridge on the trawl there, and I noticed. I think they said 7 to 8 knots. That 7 to 9 knots that they were trolling at, which I mean, obviously, I'm whack. I'm weird. I do it in kilometres, but every single kingfish that I've ever caught trolling has always been around that 10 to 11 kilometres. Because what would like 9 knots be into kilometres? You'd be getting up to 18.
Nine knots is a bit quick. That 9 knots would be over 14 kilometres an hour. Probably actually.
Yeah.
I'll have a look while you're talking, but you're on the money. But 10 kilometres an hour is about kingfish speed.
Because that's the thing. Like, I mean, obviously, when you're going out and you're fishing for them, you're casting and you are like burning it back in. Which obviously it's a bit hard to go. Oh yeah, that's going at about 10 kilometres, winding it back in. But it's quite interesting. Like, you hear some people go, oh yeah, 13, 14 k's an hour, and then like sometimes I'll sit anywhere from 8 to 10, and like it's just weird because sometimes they're so
10
fired up.
I
swear they'll hit. Yeah. Like fired up,
9
sometimes they'll
knots
hit
is
anything.
16.
Yeah, like, and they were saying that they were catching them at that, and it's like that's pushing it. Like, that is a kingfish that is hungry to feed. So, I mean, if they're catching them, yeah, like if they're eating it at that,
I guess it's not everyone you're spinning with them.
Yeah.
You just got to slow on the fast crank. But we had a lot of the guys down here saying they were trolling and they'd be doing about 6 knots, and then they just give the engine a bit of a kick over and try and get that sort of zip sort of thing, kind of what they do with a barrow when you troll and you get the rip, and get them moving a bit faster and a bit deeper. And that seems to be working pretty well for a few guys down here as well. But then again, it's finding a lure that'll do that as well. So,
yeah,
awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to move on to just a couple of little fish reports that we've had recently here. What do we got? Obviously, kingfish continue to fish well off the rocks of Blackman's Bay in Taroona. Seems to got little tackle rats like these little buggers have been going out there, just throwing lures left, right, and centre off the rocks of Blackman's Bay, which is a cracking little spot because it's easy to get to, easy to land fish when you're off there. Obviously, just watch the swirl a little bit, but that's kind of cool. And obviously, reports, as you were saying before, boys, up around Tasman Bridge and up the Derwent, which is awesome. Some guys trolling, some guys spinning. So most of the reports are saying they are finding them around structure. So obviously they're around the pylons of the bridge or any moored boats or just anything really floating down through the water. They seem to be hiding around there like they always do. So keep cracking them. And as far as lures go, the old typical white soft plastics have been going pretty well. But we've been selling a lot of lures. Little SWL Takumis have been really popular, like a real heavy little casting style hard body deep diving sort of things that'll you can cast and troll and do anything like that, which are fantastic. What else we got here? Derwent's been fishing well for bream. The boys will talk about that in a little bit at the minute, but a lot of guys have been saying fishing deeper for the bream. Vibes, soft plastics, deeper diving hard bodies there around the mouth of the Jordan and all different parts of the Derwent, so that's been going really well. Probably the big one, Mako's down Eaglehawk Neck. I saw the Dance family get a nice one there, 250 kilos over the weekend. That was crazy. That was a really good fish. I was not fishing. I was down at the Wooden Boat Show working down there. As you said, that was an amazing thing. And bucket loads of Aussie salmon kicking around absolutely everywhere, and mackerel as well. So the water is full of bait and full of life. So good time to get out there and have a bit of a crack. Any weird and wonderful reports up north, you guys?
I haven't seen anything out of the box. No, I haven't seen anything out of the box as far as weird and wonderful. I have noticed, obviously, this time of year there's a few competitions, so you may or may not be into the competitions, but there's some game fishing competitions, but there's also some kayaking competitions. So I think it was only this weekend that the Launceston Fishing Club had their kayaking competition, and that's a series. So look on there. So you don't need a big boat, is what I'm saying. You don't need a big boat. Although with the kayak, did anyone see that young kid from New Zealand that got buzzed by that 3.5, 4 metre shark?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
The video's been doing the rounds. I suggest you will see it. It's going to go viral. I think it went 400,000 views in a couple of hours. He was off living with some big, they call them Kalwai or something, but they're basically Australian salmon.
Salmon.
And all of a sudden it was a proper great white shark, not a pretend, not your Johnny come lately everyday version. She was the real McCoy, big girl. And I tell you what, it followed him for a long time. And he did a very good job. He was paddling and he didn't want to go paddling too quick. Otherwise, like we say about the speed of the lures and the franticness with kingfish, it turns them on to feed. I think he was doing the same thing for the shark. He was like, and he had a few expletives, so there's a bit of swearing, but no. Sometimes a bigger boat can be a good idea. But no, these kayak competitions are on, I believe they're in Scamander next, maybe, from memory. St. Helens, maybe. You'll have to have a look. But they're pretty cool fun. And, of course, the St. Helens Classic. If you are a game fishing person or your dad's a game fisher, definitely get on to the St. Helens Game Fishing Classic this year because I think it's going to be a wicked bit of water out the front around that time. There's going to be yellowfin tuna, marlin, dolphin fish. It's going to be good fun. A little bit off topic, but I didn't realise that your granddad grew up in Forth, Thomas.
Sure.
You'll have to ask your dad.
I was pretty sure it was Bernie, but let's go with that.
No, apparently I was talking to someone rang me up and there was a random chat. Oh, that's right. I was going to shoot some kangaroos and I rang the farmer and he said, oh, yeah, I heard you on the radio on the ABC. And he said, oh, do you listen to old mate Crawford on there? I said, yeah, I do sometimes, yep. And he said, oh, his dad, so your dad's dad, had a house in Forth or grew up in Forth or something. So you'll have to ask your dad.
There you go. So, yeah, so great-grandparents. Yeah,
you'll have to ask your dad about that.
Absolutely. The family's spread up all over Stanley, Smith and Burnie, the whole place around there.
And Forth.
It's probably related, Hooch.
I don't know. You got a better beard than me. Got a junior beard.
Very nice. This is much greater in yours as there is in mine, though.
I will say though that that kayaking comp was at Towit's Lagoon, I'm pretty sure. So I think you'd be pretty rare off to see a great white shark in there, Hooch, just quietly.
True. That is a fair comment you make. Probably the most sensible comment you've made, other than whinging.
I know.
Other than whinging about the wind all the time.
I've sat on it for a while. I've been sitting here thinking about that comment for about 3 minutes, and I finally got my chance to say it, and I'm proud of it. I'm happy with it, and that's me.
Hang on, I'm just looking to where the next one is.
No, you do that. Well, one thing I do want to mention, which is be great, they'll be giving lots of great prizes away over the few months that we've been there. Pairs of tonics and sunglasses from other brands and lure packs and stuff. But I've got something particularly awesome coming up over the next couple of weeks from Shimano. The boys at Shimano sent us down Kingfish combo and some lure pack, and the pack's worth about $1,000, so that'll be going to one lucky subscriber in the next couple of weeks. So, guys, if you're not a member yet and you do want to be in the opportunity to win yourself an awesome Kingfish outfit, get on board, www.snag.com, become a member, and, come and take this rod off me because I'll keep playing with it all day today, and it's a bloody nice little thing.
Nice work.
Cool. Well, while you're doing that, Hooch, we might get into Bragboard for a couple of minutes and just tell people what's been happening and show some pictures off. All right, go for it, youngster. See if you can do some talking.
Yeah. Cam Cole smashing the brim up at Arson's Bay.
That's Anson's Bay. It's not Arson's Bay. Close enough, but yeah, Anson's Bay. I don't know what's on your mind, but there you go. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I got that one. Cool.
Teach them young.
Smashing the brim up at Anson's Bay. Smaller size fish, but still plenty of them about. Young Sinead Dance with that stronger of a Mako. That was an awesome fish. I think it's an Australian record pending, 250-something kilo on 60 keg line. Awesome job for a junior. Well done. Samuel Mundy with a healthy brim. That was a cracker of a fish, so well done. Peter Booth's mother-in-law, Cheryl, with her first bass straight bluefin. How cool is that? Love that work. Kind of probably what you were talking about before, Hooch.
Yes.
Try again.
Brett and Dan, couple kingfish from the Derwent on low tide. Black Magic Jet.
Setter's doing the damage.
Doing the damage.
Oh, man, look at you go. It's a hot day. I'll let you off.
Finished.
Big Rexy with a nice kingfish on the 1,000 Shimano Nasky reel. So no easy feed on that one, my man. On the little 1,000, kingfish is always going to go hard. On a black and gold atomic lure he was running. All right, not a bad land-based session up at St. Helens. Biggest salmon was 48. whiting was 38, and the biggest leather jacket was 34 centimetre. I don't have that gentleman's name here, unfortunately, but that's a cracking thing. Big Benny Deebit with an awesome Derwent Kingfish. I think that's one we were talking about before. He was trolling around quite fast. Yep. So awesome work, Benny. Bradley Nettlefold with a Sergeant Baker up north. You don't see a lot of them come up hooch up your way, but they're starting to come down a fair bit more.
Yeah, Sergeant Bakers, they're a bit of a reef fish. They've got a few different funny names. But normally, if you've caught a Sergeant Baker, if you get off that ground a little bit, you're sort of close to some reasonable snapper ground. They sort of habitat in that zone between the hard edge of the reef and the shaly bit. So can be a little bit, I suppose, encouraging if you catch one. They're a funny-looking fish, and by all reports, people that have eaten them said they eat okay, so...
Yeah, right. There we go. All right, cool. Young Arthur Whittock with another cracking kingfish from the Rocks. Awesome work, Junior. He's been smashing this season, so great job there. Over to the trout. You want to have a go at red one out?
Sure. We've got J.D. Harris with a nice rainbow from Rooston Dam. Pretty
Awesome.
sure I saw that one. It's not bad, like around mid-40s.
Yeah, it was a good fish. You did well.
Rowan Nickel Hawk with a nice trout and brim combo from the Ewan.
It is fun when you fish in places like the Ewan and you go out there and you're smashing the brim and then you get a nice trout come up as well. It's kind of cool to be able to catch both, which is awesome. All right, we were talking about the kayak fishing series before. By all accounts, that seemed like it was a great success. The guys had 24 anglers hit the water in perfect fishing conditions on the 7th of Feb. At the end of the day, 21 anglers weighed in with an overall length of 32.8 metres of brown trout and rainbow trout. That's having a crack.
Oh, no.
And all out of kayak, so good job there, guys. That's that for Brad, boys. So, boys, tell me, you guys have been fishing out a little bit in the Derwent recently. You had a trip not that long ago where you guys managed to get on to... How many brims did you get?
I got, I think, 26 or something. How many did you get?
12.
That's not bad.
12.
You know, look, 26 and 12 is not having a bad go at all. So, you know, was there much size to them?
Yeah, some of them were alright.
Some were.
Anything over 40?
I think you got one.
Yeah,
that,
41.
Yeah, and then I got a couple that were about 39.5 or something.
Okay, what sort of area were you guys fishing?
Just around Montrose Bay and all that.
So land-based?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Rocky
And
shore.
the lures that you guys were using in particular?
Comic gold lures.
Yeah,
The purple pasty gold
Yeah,
ones? Yeah, nice that you're both using that.
yeah, I was using that for a bit. I used the liquid gold.
Liquid gold as well. Nice work. Now, any tips or hints you could say to people who want to go out there and try fishing for brim they're doing from the shore, like retrieve ways? Are you pausing, stopping, fast retrieving?
So you pretty much have to twitch, pause, just repeat that and keep casting. Like, they'll just move in. If you're not getting one in one spot, you'll keep casting and you might get one in that same spot.
Okay, and how long are you guys pausing the lures for when you do it?
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
2 or 3 seconds? Yeah, cool.
Not long.
All right, well, that's having a crack, so they're good fish, so awesome job, guys. You guys heard it here first?
Yeah.
Pause, jiggy jig, can't go wrong. Dylan, you been fishing, my man?
I went for another little kingfish bass down on Saturday. Being a long weekend, sort of thought, screw it, I'll stick around Hobart and try and, because like a lot of people will go, oh yeah, it's a long weekend, we'll go up here, we'll go there, and launched out of Margate and was like, up until like launched at stupid o'clock, like daylight, and then I think it was about 8:30. We didn't see another boat really fishing for kingfish, so we were fishing all the usual structure spots in Margate, and it was just chronically just so like hit and miss. Like you'd come over, see something decent on the sounder, and you'd just look, drop it, and then that was it. We marked probably, I'd say 2 good bait balls, big arches underneath them, drop down, like trying all sorts of different things to drop down, but just couldn't get anything to grab. But like they're definitely around there. We fished pretty much all north, like around Northwest Bay and into Blackman's Bay. And as we were coming back, the wind sort of started to cut up, and she was a bit rolly. And we went and had a look at, I think the nearest point we got swell was at the tip of Bruny Island, which you sort of got to coming from Blackman's Bay, you've sort of got to come into to go around to go back into Northwest Bay to get back to the boat ramp, and it was saying 1.9 metre swell, which with the 30-kilometre winds or whatever it was behind it was quite the nice drive back with no kingfish in the boat. So, but yeah, fun little trip, getting saturated.
It does happen, but no fish.
They're there.
At times. So did you see any kingfish at all, or was it just the schools?
Just seeing them on the sounder, I've put in a fair few trips, and I haven't actually seen any surface action whatsoever from them. Like, there's been bait fish that have been on the surface and stuff like that, but there's just been nothing pushing them on the surface. And like, some of the people that I've been going out with, they've been fishing top water and just no interest whatsoever. It's just really weird. But they're down there. I mean, it's just like anything. They're always just such a right time for a specific reason sort of fish, and you just got to be there at the right time. And obviously, we just haven't been there at the right time. So, no, keep on trying.
That's fishing, my man. It is what it is. But yeah, I think the old kingfish thing's got a lot of people starting to get a bit stressed and lose a bit of hair. It's the amount of people, I think for every person you see on Facebook with a kingfish, there's 40 people that tried and didn't get one. So, and sometimes it's the right place, right time, and just sheer luck. The amount of times I've been out there for 6 or 7 hours, and you think one more cast, and you have a 3-way hookup with all sorts of different things, like size kingies coming up. It's just off its head.
I wonder too. Some of those points in the Derwent would if you've got some incoming tide, and then it goes slack. I wonder if you could use some burley to attract those bait fish, because nothing attracts kingies more than
Absolutely,
bait fish.
100%.
So if you could, I don't know. I've often thought about how you would use burley to attract kings in the Derwent.
Well, I think you said that you hit the nail on the head. It's getting that bait fish to come up to it, and the little salmon, the mackerel come up to it, and they're just going to come up and see what the disturbance is. 100%. We've certainly done it in the past, and it's worked.
Yeah, the other thing is it's hard too as well, because I feel like there's not thousands, there's obviously a fair few that come in, but there's not hundreds and thousands of they're absolutely everywhere, that if you do burley up and you do get the schools of bait fish up there, it's not actually a guarantee that they're gonna be there chasing them, because like I've been dribbling on about the last couple of times, we've found bait, we've found good bowls of bait and stuff like that throughout times that they've just not been there. But yeah, and the other thing that's probably worth mentioning as well, I don't know whether it's just me being complaining, which it probably is, but I feel like this summer has been ridiculously windy. There's been I've still been going. It hasn't been stopping me for.
He's on against about the wind again.
But
He's another complaint.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of trips where you sort of go out and you're like, oh yeah, I've got a plan to do that, and then the wind will just cut up and you can't do it. So, yeah, I don't know, they're definitely there.
We'll have to talk to the wind gods and see if we can fix it up for you, mate.
Yeah, just time. Thanks.
Lovely work. Well, guys, I think that's probably just about us for the week before Dylan starts whinging about the weather again. All right, guys. So, Dylan, what are they going to do if they want to become a member and win that awesome Kingfish kit from Shimano?
You've got to head over to www.snag.com.au, get yourself a membership. We've got a couple going on in there. Get yourself a weekly membership, and you're going to the draw to win a prize each week. So why not have a crack?
Absolutely. Support us, do what we do.
I'm probably going to have a crack for another kingfish on the weekend and then complain to the wind about you next week and go from there. So I suppose we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
See you, young lads.
See you.
Catch a jack, see you, mate.